Hello everyone, and welcome to this video where we will be continuing with our fresh Shortener app. Took some time off because I thought layoffs were going to eventually happen at my job, so I was preparing for interviews, and sure enough, big layoffs happened. It's all good, not the end of the world, so let's keep going. Last time we wrote most of the OAuth logic, and this is our beautiful UI. Let's fix that. We can start the UI with the Navbar. So in the components folder, I'll create a new file called navbar.tsx. I'll first import the lemon icon, which we'll use for our app logo. And then I'll create the interface to represent our Navbar props. This will have a session ID field of type string or undefined. This will help us distinguish between a logged in user and not. We can then create our Navbar component function, which takes in that Navbar props interface. We'll directly return a JSX element. I'll put everything in a head tag with a white background. Then I'll add a div for adding some margin and centering the Navbar. Next we'll use flex to center all our items. First item is the logo, so we can use flex1 for that and have a tag with our lemon icon. And after it, we'll just add some text. So in my case, I added some special styling just for the short text to have it display as yellow and with some bold font. Second section for our nav will be the nav links. It'll have an unordered list. If the user is signed in, we'll want to display two links. We'll want to first display the links to access all the shorts, and second link will be the sign out link. Otherwise, if our user is not signed in, we'll have a link for him to sign in. This completes the Navbar, so let's add that to our layout component and take a look. Actually, we haven't created our layout file yet inside of the routes folder, so let's go ahead and do that. We can create a underscore layout.tsx file. We first import the layout props from fresh. Then we'll import the Navbar component and another icon for the GitHub icon. We'll export our layout component and extract from layout props the component and state. Component will be the route component that will be displayed here. So for our case, we have, for example, an index route. So this would end up being displayed by this component. We then return our JSX element. So the first in our layout will be the Navbar. This needs to get the session ID, which we can get from the state. If you remember, our middleware takes care of populating it for us when we're logged in, or keeping it as null if we're not. Then we'll have our component. This would be the route, the specific JSX component for our routes. And then I'll have a footer just for making things a bit prettier. So I'll have our footer fixed to the bottom of the page, and I'm adding some margin just to center it. First thing I'll add is a text to represent our brand, and followed by a unordered list. This will have two items. The first one will be a link to the GitHub repo for this project using the GitHub icon. And the second one will just be the link to the fresh website, as well as the image that shows that this website was made with fresh. So we can hit save for that. And now if we go to our web page, we should now see our navbar being displayed, as well as our footer with the GitHub icon, made with fresh icon, and our route component, which is still displaying hello. We can technically try and sign in, since we've already set up all the necessary routes and the callback routes for signing in. So let's try it out. And we get a 404. That's because we still haven't added the GitHub client ID and the secret key. So let's fix that. We can get the GitHub client ID and secret key from the settings. So if we go down here to settings, go to the bottom, you should be able to see developer settings. And in OAuth apps, you'll see I already have a app set up for our fresh short. So you'll just need to create a new OAuth app. You could call it whatever you want. Homepage URL should be the localhost route. The only thing you'll need to make sure is that for the authorization callback URL, it should be exactly the same as what you used for the callback route. So for our case, we just called it callback. So this is exactly the same as this route over here. So if you called it something else, make sure that it's the same here. And then when you register the application, you should have your client ID and secret. Now all we need to do is create a .m file to add that information so that DenoKV or our DenoKV OAuth application can use. So I'll add a GitHub client ID, just replace that with your client ID, and same thing for the secret. And now if we hit save and go to our browser and go back to the localhost page, and also with the power of editing, I changed the secret key and client ID to be the correct ones for my case. One thing you should make sure of is to restart the app, or the server I mean, since when we add the .m file, it doesn't automatically refresh it. So let's just make sure everything is refreshed. And now if we hit sign in, boom, we're automatically signed in, because in this Chrome browser, I'm already signed in to my GitHub thing, so I don't need to enter my username or password. If it's the first time you're doing it, you'll need to enter it. But yeah, we can see our shorts link. If we click on it, we see a page not found. We'll also edit that to make it a bit prettier. And yeah, we can sign out. Awesome. I don't like the I don't know why there's a background color for that 404 page. So Fresh automatically generated a _404 file for us, so that whenever we hit a page not found, we automatically show this. So we will just remove that, and you can obviously customize it however you want, but we refresh it, it actually makes a bit more sense based off of our theme. And this brings us back home. Great, so that completes this video. We started working on the UI. We made sure to hook everything up with the OAuth and confirm that it's working properly. Next video, we'll start working on the database side for our shorts and making sure that they're linked to a specific user, so that when we create a short, it's assigned to a specific user and that user can delete it, view it, etc. Yeah, so I'll see you on the next one. Bye.